No one can diminish Yahweh's gift, which is the covenant. His willingness to adopt us into His family. His ability to make us immortal, to perfect us, to enrich us, and to empower us. And at this very moment, Kirk, I am particularly pleased that Yahweh's gift and the benefits of that gift are wholly and completely based upon the credibility and the ability of the Creator of the universe.
Mm-hmm. You're here.
Yeah. So this complete capitulation on Iran's nuclear program, which seems to me to make perfect sense as it relates to prophecy. That news, while horrific, while frightening, while troubling, it's of no consequence to you and I. However, for those who have been fooled, they're going to endure the aftermath. You know, it's interesting that as I view the landscape around Yahweh's prophecies of the Magog War and of what's going to happen in the next 10 to 15 years, one of the things that strikes me is that Iran does not deploy nuclear weapons in Israel.
No, they would destroy Israel.
Right. Yeah, God's not going to allow that. So, but what we do have is places like Damascus being left as a twisted heap of ruins.
Completely destroyed, and they will perish. Dama, they are cut off and will cease to exist. And the Nepal perfect, telling us that people have actively participated in their own absolute demise. They will perish because of a lack of understanding, belie, corrupted information, inadequate knowledge, and deficient discernment. For indeed, because you have totally avoided and rejected, spurned and despised, literally refused and disdained knowledge and understanding, information and discernment, so then I will consistently reject you and avoid you.
Wow.
That's Yah.
Yeah, can I add something to that? I'm glad you read that.
Absolutely.
Because what we described, which is 1 billion people dying a year in 2027, 2028, and 2029. 1 billion people a year are going to cease to exist, their souls destroyed. Exactly as Yahweh said, out of just sheer ignorance and unwillingness to think, and a willingness to observe, which is to closely examine and carefully consider His Torah teaching. And by the way, the next statement is, because you have forgotten my Torah, I will forget your children.
I'm sorry, I didn't have to.
Yes, it's specific. Because of that, their souls will cease to exist. They'll be destroyed. That's the good part. The good part of the immediate future that awaits us as a result of what America has done and continues to do, and Islam has done and continues to do. The good part is 1 billion souls are going to succumb and die, ceasing to exist over the 3 years between 2027 and 2030. And you have any idea why I say that's the good part?
Because the horror that's coming is even worse for the next few years.
Because at the midpoint of the tribulation, once the Torahless one imposes his financial plan, which will be very similar to what's taking place in Greece, even a more draconian version, but very similar, where you sign up, surrender to his authority to participate in his new economic system. And once you do that, you've made your choice, and there will no longer be death and destruction of the soul. From that point on, every soul will continue to exist forever, separated from God and Sheol. So the good part is that the souls that succumb to these wars that are unleashed based upon American ignorance and belligerence, those souls, there's no punishment. They just cease to exist. But of the 3 billion souls that remain,
you imagine,
there is no relief ever for them. Ever. Because they will have aligned themselves with the Torahless one, with Christians will know as the Antichrist. He will be almost identical to Paul, almost identical to Hadrian, if you want to look up his personality profile. They'll be very similar. A blend between Muhammad, Paul, and Hadrian, if you're looking for a personality profile. Not very different even from Nero or Caligula. Very, very similar to those characters.
In particular, yeah.
Uh-huh. And so that's the good part.
That's the 3 billion thing you can hear.
Right. Now, there's an answer to all that. Yeah. An absolute guarantee that you will not succumb to either of those two. That you won't be here for the 3 years where 1 billion people a year die, and you will never be susceptible to the ongoing incarceration of your soul. What's that, Kirk?
Well, you turn that to become part of the covenant family.
And how do you
the terms and conditions?
And where would you find them?
In the Torah.
So when Yahweh said, "My people are destroyed, their souls cease to exist because of their avoidance and complete ignorance of and lack of understanding," what he was speaking of is that the solution there, if you don't want your soul destroyed, is to read the Torah, study the Torah, observe the Torah.
Shamar.
Right. Shamar, the Torah. Shamar means to closely examine and carefully consider. If anyone listening to this program, turns their attention to Yahweh's Torah, even if you just read Parashith in the beginning, you would understand the terms and conditions of the covenant. If you just read Shemot, names, you'd understand the invitations that Yahweh has provided for us to walk to Him. Just read the first 2 books. And if you don't want to have to deal with Hebrew and the majesty of the Hebrew language, then go to yadayah.com. It's all served up there for you.